always on the go, but the day just won't be one without your Hollywood fix. Let Golden State Media Concepts Entertainment Podcast take care of that. An all-inclusive look of pop culture.
Hello and welcome to the GSMC Entertainment Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I am your host, Sarah, and I am happy to be with you on this Sunday. Hope you're having a great weekend. Mine is going swimmingly. Not really anything exciting to report except for allergies, and that's not exciting, but still having the allergies and probably will for the rest of eternity the way things are going, but not here to talk about my scratchy throat. We're here to talk about entertainment news, and we are going to start off with some celebrity news, starting in the world of sports. If you have been paying any attention, then you know it is the NBA Finals currently happening between the Toronto Raptors and the Golden State Warriors. Toronto is currently up 3-1, but this is not exactly about that. It is about Kawhi Leonard and McDonald's. What do those things have in common, you may be asking yourself? Well, there was a promotion being done by McDonald's in Ontario. It was a promotional deal made last July between McDonald's and the Toronto Raptors to give away free French fries whenever the Raptors made 12 or more three-pointers. And this took an unexpected turn when the team traded for Kawhi Leonard 18 days after finalizing the promotion. This is according to Jake Edmiston of the Financial Post. He tweeted He tweeted today, days before the Kawhi trade, McDonald's promised to hand out free fries whenever the Raptors hit 12 three-pointers. They figured they'd give away 700,000 medium fries in the season. Instead, it was $2 million. That's $5.8 million in French fries. Wow. That is crazy. The previous season, the Raptors averaged 11.8 made three-pointers per game. Chuck Coolin, the McDonald's executive who conceived and executed the promotion, expected the team to exceed that in roughly half of their games. What he didn't expect was for the Raptors to make a trade and for them to get Kawhi Leonard and Danny Green, two players who tend to make a lot of three-point shots. Add in the mid-season acquisition of Marc Gasol, and the Raptors had drastically upgraded their shooting at 3 of the 5 starting positions since agreeing to Coolin's promotion. Remember, they made this promotion last July, not really knowing what the future held. After the trade, Coolin and McDonald's had the option to raise the 12-shot giveaway threshold, but opted not to. That was cool. Despite the added shooting, the Raptors barely exceeded the regular season projection, breaking the threshold 44 times, one more than last season. But a deep postseason run, the Raptors have triggered the promotion 10 times thus far in the playoffs, and the public's love of free fries seemed to be the main catalyst for the massive gap between projected versus actual giveaways. There's a quote that says, McDonald's didn't underestimate the Raptors so much as it did the appetite for free fries in Ontario. The regular season's 2 million free orders at an average menu price of $2.89 was $5.8 million worth of fries. While full tallies for the playoffs were not available, in Game 1 of the finals alone, where the Raptors hit 13 threes, McDonald's gave away a record 80,000 free fry orders. That is amazing and hilarious. And, they had the option to back out and they didn't, so good on them. I don't blame people for getting their free fries. Fries are good. Free fries are even better, right? In other celebrity news, moving on from sports, Chris Pratt got married this weekend. You may have seen pictures. He and wife Katherine Schwarzenegger both posted the same picture on Instagram. They got married on Saturday at the I know how to pronounce this. It's YSIDRO Ranch in Montecito, California. I see that word all the time. I used to know how to pronounce it. Now I just can't. Isidro? Let's go with Isidro. And I apologize that I'm mispronouncing that. Chris Pratt and Katherine Schwarzenegger got married on Saturday. Katherine Schwarzenegger, if you can't tell by the name, is the daughter of Arnold Schwarzenegger and Maria Shriver. Pratt is 39. Katherine is 29. They shared a picture of themselves. They both shared the same picture on Instagram with basically the same quote that said, "Yesterday was the best day of our lives. We became husband and wife in front of God, our families, and those we love. It was intimate, moving, and emotional. We feel so blessed to begin this new chapter of our lives. We are so thankful to our families and our friends who stood with us, and grateful to Mr. Giorgio Armani, who created a once-in-a-lifetime dress for me to wear, and for Chris, the perfect suit. This morning, we feel nothing but blessed." So, Chris Pratt was previously married to Anna Faris. They have one son, Jack, who was in attendance. And congratulations to the couple. We wish them nothing but the best. In other celebrity news, this one is kind of random and hilarious. What do Ashley Tisdale and Kevin Smith have in common besides being actors? Well, they live in the same neighborhood, and they recently had a Twitter feud. I love Twitter feuds. They're so funny. I mean, who takes their grievances to social media? Well, actually, the answer to that is that a lot of people take their grievances to social media, and this case is no exception. So, as I said, Tisdale and Smith live in the same neighborhood, and Ashley Tisdale went on Twitter to call out Kevin Smith after a small fender bender. You may know Ashley Tisdale from High School Musical. She is 33. She started off this brief little Twitter feud when she claimed that Kevin Smith, who is 48, scratched her car and drove away. She tweeted, "Thanks at that Kevin Smith for scratching my mirror on my car and not stopping. Classy move, neighbor." This is really passive aggressive if she didn't try and talk to him in the first place. But Kevin Smith responded hours later, apologizing and tossing in a reference to her High School Musical character, Sharpay Evans. He wrote, "Apologies. I drive like Cruella de Vil in the hills. However, I did," surrounded by asterisks, "do a courtesy stop. Then, when you pulled away first, I was like, that's so Sharpay." That was his response to her. And she replied, "Ha, apology accepted," with a smiley face. So, feud, that's definitely too strong of a word, but we're not sure if she was actually joking with her first tweet or, if she really was being passive aggressive or if she was just being silly. Who knows what kind of relationship they have. But this didn't stop other Twitter users from chiming in. You know how that's going to go. Office Space actor Diedrich Bader replied, "Maybe leave a note. This is an inappropriate way to do this." Wow, way to chime in on this. Smith eventually followed up on the situation, saying that Tisdale came to his house and apologized for the incident. So they have made up. He wrote, the incredibly sweet at Ashley Tisdale stopped by my house and tried to apologize. I assured her that I'm, again with the asterisks, the one who was driving like a wildcat. Also told her I'd send my kid our tweets." His daughter Harley Quinn's response, "We saw Ashley in High School Musical live." Ashley was like, "Oh man." So that is the full tweet. And that is the full feud. So Smith also apparently joked that he jokingly included a blank image that simply read, "I forgot to ask for a selfie." They've made up. It's all good. I don't know that they were ever feuding in the first place, but I sometimes find it amusing and or funny when celebrities decide to either jokingly or not jokingly feud on social media. This one seems like it was a little more innocent. A scratched mirror, I'm sure they took care of it. It wasn't as though he, just T-boned her and drove away. But still, leave a note or do a follow-up. I don't know, something. At any rate, don't air your grievances on social media, except that it makes for good entertainment news. So go ahead and air your grievances on social media. I'll report on it. We are going to take our first break of the podcast. When we come back, we will be talking about some news from the movie world. So stay tuned. You're listening to the GSMC Entertainment Podcast, and I will be right back.
Want to find out what movies to go see? Then check out the GSMC Movie Podcast. It's your ticket to the latest movies, whether it's a new blockbuster event, romantic, comedy, or action flick. This show has got it all covered. They talk some what to go see now. Don't bother. What's hot on Netflix and everything in between. That's GSMCpodcast.com/movie-podcast. When it's all about the movies, it has to be this new show. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit GSMCpodcast.com for more info.
Welcome back to the GSMC Entertainment Podcast. Before the break, we were talking about just some celebrity news, and now we are moving on to movie news, which, of course, is also celebrity news in a lot of ways. But the first story is regarding the Seattle Film Festival and the winners of the Seattle Film Festival Awards. The film festival wrapped up today on Sunday with the top Golden Space Needle Audience Awards going to Tel Aviv on Fire for Best Film and We Are the Radical Monarchs for Best Documentary. Ulla Salim won Best Director for Sons of Denmark, while Damla Sonmez won Best Actress for Sybil, and Julius Weckhoff won Best Actor for All About Me. Best Short Film went to Stepdaddy. Juried award winners included House of the Hummingbird for the official competition, The Extraordinary Journey of Celeste Garcia for new directors, The Awakening of the Ants for the Ibero-American competition, International Falls for the New American Cinema competition, and Cue Ball for documentary. The Seattle Film Festival is the largest festival in the United States. It featured more than 400 films from 86 countries, including 12 feature premieres. It was 25 days. The film festival was 25 days, and there is a quote from artistic director Beth Barrett who says, "It's been an incredible 25 days full of important stories from around the world. We're incredibly proud to showcase women in comedy, from jumpstarting the festival with a lot of laughs during the screening of local filmmaker Lynn Shelton's newest film, Sword of Trust, to honoring the incredible talent of Regina Hall with the festival's award for Outstanding Achievement in Cinema before a screening of Support the Girls, one of her latest films, on June 2nd, showcasing the hilarious Mindy Kaling and Emma Thompson's Late Night as our centerpiece, and closing this year's festival with Lulu Wang's The Farewell. In addition to celebrating women's voices, we hosted one-of-a-kind experiences like the third SIFF New Works in Seattle International Film Festival, SIFF New Works in Progress Forum that brings audiences and industry into the filmmaking creative process to critique and inspire direction to filmmakers while their films are being made. More than 82,000 ballots were submitted for this year's audience awards. So it sounds like 25 days of some pretty incredible films. Congratulations to all of the winners. This gives you, if you're interested in films that are often more independent and winners of film festival awards, then this gives you some movies to add to your to-be-watched list. In slightly different movie news, although Mindy Kaling was mentioned in that previous segment, Mindy Kaling has confirmed Marvel talks about a Ms. Marvel adaptation. So yes, this confirmation did come during an interview when fans learned that Kaling has been in talks with Marvel Studios about the project. Recently, MTV News spoke with Kaling during a recent press tour, and it was there that the actress confirmed that she has spoken with talent at Marvel about the much-wanted Ms. Marvel adaptation. She's quoted as saying, "I think the people I've spoken to Marvel about it are so excited about the character, and I think that they're trying to figure out what to do with it. And I told them I would help in any way because I truly love her." Continuing, Kaling said that the people she spoke with were very interested in Kamala's character, and there are new avenues in which Ms. Marvel could be explored. She went on to say, they really seemed interested, and I think they will probably do something. Now that there's like this streaming service with them, it might be something like that, but I think they understand how much there is the excitement. So, not sure if it will be a movie, if it will be a series, if it will be streaming, how it's going to be. When asked who might play the heroine should Marvel Studios bring Kamala to the screen, Kaling hedged on dropping any names. That is because the actress believes an unknown talent might be best and most exciting for the role. She said, I feel it might need to be an unknown. In the past, reports have surfaced about Marvel Studios' interest in Ms. Marvel, but nothing definitive has ever been said about an adaptation. Last year, executive producer Kevin Feige said plans for Kamala would cultivate naturally following the debut of Captain Marvel, saying, "We wanted to get Captain Marvel out there first, so that there is something for a young Muslim girl to get inspired by." Obviously, from this interview, it's apparent that Kaling seems to be passionate about Ms. Marvel, and so hopefully she will be able to continue these talks, and a Muslim character in the to be featured prominently in the comic book world, I think would be amazing, especially a young Muslim woman. That representation matters, and so to see that represented in a comic book adaptation would be amazing, and we will keep you up to date as we hear more about this. And still, again, letting you know, don't know if it's a film or a television series, but Ms. Marvel and Kamala Khan, I cannot speak today, so we'll be interested to see where this leads. In other sort of sci-fi news, did you know that Ghostbusters 3 is in the works? Ghostbusters 1 and 2. 1 was amazing. 2 was different. But writer-director Jason Reitman says that the new movie, which is a sequel to his father Ivan Reitman's Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters 2, has 1 foot in the past and 1 foot in the future. He says, "Going into making this film, we wanted to make a love letter to the original movie." And he said this on Saturday at Ghostbusters Fan Fest. He admitted that he did not expect to be making a Ghostbusters movie. He said, "I thought I was going to be this indie dude who makes Sundance movies. And then this character came to me, and she was a 12-year-old girl." The story centers on the tween future Buster to be played by Captain Marvel's McKenna Grace, who is joined by her mother and brother, Carrie Coon and Finn Wolfhard. "I didn't know who she was or why she popped into my head," Reitman said, "but I saw her with a proton pack and this proton pack. Jeez, proton pack would be a totally different movie. I saw her with a proton pack and the story began to form. And it formed over many years, actually. It started with a girl, and all of a sudden it was a family." He eventually knew that it was a story that he needed to write. So we reached out, he says, we reached out to all the originals, the cast, the crew, the people who made Ghostbusters, and we even formed this kind of small group that gets together, an advisory board of people who worked on the original film to make sure that we made the right film. I'm not going to give anything away today, but I will say it's a new movie. This is a new movie about a new set of characters. It takes place in a new place, a new location. And Reitman, who personally thanked Ghostbusters reboot director Paul Feig for kicking down the door in terms of broader storytelling, added that he's excited for the possibility of all kinds of Ghostbuster movies. And I'm hoping that the fans join me on this one because these characters are amazing. He said, amazing, and I can't wait to introduce them to you. So what of those new characters? Connection to the old guard, Peter Venkman, Ray Stantz, Winston Zeddemore, Bill Murray, those are Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Ernie Hudson, Sigourney Weaver's Dana Barrett. Of course, the fourth Ghostbuster is no longer with us, which makes me very sad about Dr. Egon Spengler. I loved Harold Ramis and his very dry portrayal of him. I just think the chemistry between those first four, the four Ghostbusters in the first movie was amazing. At any rate, it'll be interesting to see. I'm happy that it's not just a reboot, that they're not just remaking the first one. It was fine. They didn't really reboot it with the all-female cast. Thankfully, they kind of did a new story with that too. So, reboots are fine, but they're getting a little old where you just have the same story, you just throw in new people. So I am intrigued about this to see where the story goes. Hopefully it will be good. It'll be interesting to see if any of those original cast sign on for major roles or at least cameos, and interested to see how this movie turns out. Excited about the possibility. The original cast has read the script. It has been confirmed. And it's also been confirmed that Sigourney Weaver will return as Dana Barrett. So that's exciting. And she will reunite with Murray and Aykroyd. Nothing is further divulged on her end in the studio. Sony has declined to comment. So this news broke in January that the film was being made, that Reitman was directing it. Not much, of course, is known about the plot except for what Reitman has recently said. Bill Murray is willing to appear in the new film. Sigourney Weaver has confirmed that she will return as Dana Barrett, and we'll just see what else happens and how it turns out. I am intrigued. So it is time to take our second break of the podcast. When we come back, we'll be looking now towards the world of music for some more entertainment news. So stay tuned. You're listening to the GSMC Entertainment Podcast, and I will be right back.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Welcome back to the GSMC Entertainment Podcast. Before the break, we were talking about some movie news, and now we're moving on to some music news. At least news from the world of music. And Kanye West recently celebrated his 42nd birthday. The Kardashians and the Jenners, of course, helped celebrate, and they did it as they do many things on social media. He received, of course, many birthday wishes from his in-laws this year to help celebrate his 42nd birthday, which was yesterday, June 8th. The Kardashian and Jenner families showed some love with numerous tweets and Instagram posts expressing their love and admiration for the rap star. Kim Kardashian got the ball rolling with an Instagram post about head over heels she is about her husband of 5 years. She wrote, "Happy birthday to my amazing husband who never ceases to amaze me. Thank you for who you are and all that you do. I love you." And she posted a photo of her and Kanye happily video chatting. Next up was sister-in-law Khloe, who paid tribute to him by calling him an incredible husband, daddy, uncle, brother, and friend, also on Instagram. Then Khloe also said, "Happy birthday, Yee. Cheers to you always." And then quoting that you are such an incredible husband, daddy, uncle, brother, friend. Thank you for being you. Thank you for all that you do and for all that you are. We love you so much. She posted that with a black and white photo of her and Kanye. Caitlyn Jenner chimed in, pointing out on Instagram how she feels very fortunate to have Kanye in her life. She said, "Happy birthday to this incredible man. Not only is he an extremely talented artist, he's an amazing husband to Kim and father to his children. I am so blessed to have you in my life, Kanye." So this is a very close-knit family, and a family that is not afraid to put their feelings out on social media. So it was nice that they celebrated and honored a member of their family. And it's a very sweet Kardashian Jenner Kanye story. Sometimes you get the crazy ones, but this one is very sweet. So that's kind of a nice change from how things sometimes go with this family. They're just very over the top. And when you're very over the top, you get some interesting stories about you. In other music news, it is Pride Month. As you know, June is Pride Month, and LA Pride was this weekend. There was a celebration in West Hollywood and a massive LGBTQ plus celebration, including many big stars. Paula Abdul was there. Meghan Trainor was there. So many colorful outfits. Well, actually, Paula Abdul's is not that colorful, but Meghan Trainor's is rainbow and not quite as bright as the one that Taylor Swift wore that we talked about on a previous episode. It's rainbow colored, and there are tiered tulle layers in the back, so it's very fun. Last year's LA Pride saw about 170,000 participants and spectators, and this year's event seems like it will probably top that. Before the parade kicked off, the crowds were treated to live performances by Paula Abdul and Meghan Trainor, and this year, actually, June 2019, marks the 50th anniversary of the Stonewall riots in New York City, which helped to create the modern Pride movement in the United States. The first LA Pride parade happened a year later in 1970. Nearly half a century after Stonewall, LA Pride was a way for the community to celebrate the progress it has made towards equality while acknowledging that there is a lot more work still to be done. Phil Wilson, who is the founder of the Black AIDS Institute, he's a community activist, and the parade's community grand marshal said in a statement, "The LGBTQI community has come a long way in the last 50 years. It has not been without heartache, pain, sacrifice, and growth. I am humbled to be among such a powerful and diverse group of grand marshals. Together, we represent how much stronger we are when we celebrate all of what we are." And so, as I said, Meghan Trainor was there, and there was a lot of entertainments. British electronic pop trio Years and Years is headlining the extravaganza. The festival's lineup includes Ashanti, Christian Castro, Pablo Vittar, the drums, Dej Loaf, the Veronicas, Amara La Negra, Grayson Chance, MNEK, Amer Asu, and more. Its hosts include Billy Francesca, Ariche Wanzer, Jessica Wilde, Kimora Black, Alicia Machado, and so it just sounds like there's a lot going on. And in addition to those who were performing or presenting, there were, of course, a lot of celebrity sightings. Kehlani and Tovlo, Christina Aguilera made a surprise appearance. And U.S. Representative Maxine Waters, the cast of Netflix's Sense8. That's kind of cool. There were a lot of celebrity sightings and people who took part in the weekend's festivities. So sounds like it was a good event and well attended, which is great. Our final story is in regards to Celine Dion, who has now wrapped up her Las Vegas residency that began 16 years ago. That is an impressive run. She has wrapped up her residency at the Coliseum at Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas. Her last show was on yesterday. She's quoted as saying, "I am both proud and humbled by what we've accomplished at the Coliseum since we began 16 years ago when Renee and I first shared this dream." This was in a statement that was released by Caesars Entertainment. She goes on to say, "This entire experience has been a huge part of my show business career, one that I will cherish forever. I have so many people to thank, but the most important thank you goes to my fans who gave us the opportunity to do what we love." The show began in 2003. It has been seen by 4.5 million fans over the course of 1,141 performances. Her first residency played 717 shows from March of 2003 through December of 2007. Her second premiered in March 2011. Saturday's finale featured the debut of Dion's new song, Flying on My Own, which is from her album Courage, and that is set to release in November. So 16 years is a pretty impressive run, and congratulations to her on that, as well as her new album, which is coming out in November. That wraps it up for this episode of the GSMC Entertainment Podcast. Thank you so much for joining me. Please join me again next time when we will be looking at what else has happened in the world of celebrity entertainment between now and then. Hope you're having a great week, and I'll see you next time.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Entertainment Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. From movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.